Okay, so again, if you go to the main homepage and then an extra credit, inside of here as well in the extra credit, there's a PDF that you can go ahead and download. And essentially what I want everyone to do in this extra credit is using the brush tool to add some items into a scene. So there's this cool little feature of the brush tool that we haven't talked about just yet. And what you can do is you can actually make your own type of brush based on an image. So why don't we try doing that very quickly. And I'll show everyone what I mean by that. When we do this. So let me look up some Google images. And then I'm just going to find an image of some birds flying. I'll show them over here as well. So I just looked up onto Google Images, birds, a PNG, because the PNG is the background that is cut out. And let me go ahead and try to pick one of these. Maybe this one will be good. I'm going to right click and save the image as to my desktop. It's going to save it as birds. And then I'm going to go to my desktop and open up my birds. Awesome. So now I have my birds here, and this is supposed to be transparent, but let's just double check if it is. If I go to drag this image into my other one, you can see that the background is actually still there. So this one isn't transparent just yet. Let me put it back to the original one. And inside of this image here, what I will do is I'm just going to try to use the magic wand again to cut out the background, because that's just a bit easier to do in this scenario, even though there's quite a few items here. I think that did it there. Not sure. This one looks a little odd. Let me try one more different image of the birds. Maybe this one will do. Sorry, everyone. So this is something that you will actually need to do for the extra credit. What you're doing is you're trying to find a few objects to make your brush work on. Let me open up my other birds one here. This one might be easier to delete the background from. Not sure why it's not selecting all of them. There we go. Great. I had to hit contiguous because remember that selects all the certain types. And now there's a cool little thing that we can do with our brush tool. So remember with our brush tool, I can draw around once I select it. I can right click and I can select a different type of brush to work with, right? I could select like a polka dot one. I could select a really big one. I could select the one that is kind of like a sloshy one. And again, if I hit the BRU on the side over here, it brings up a very big angle, or excuse me, a very big layer pane that I can then use to edit my brush as well. So I could change the angle of my brush. I could change how much it's spaced out. So if you want to make like fire or something like that, that could be a cool way. I could change how round it is too. This one looks pretty interesting now. So now I have these kind of like grass almost. And why I'm showing everyone this is that you'll notice that you have a lot of options to choose from here. What you can do with, now what I did is I downloaded an image of birds from online. I deleted the background and now I have my layer without a background in it. What I can do from here is I can go to edit and I could go to the very bottom here. And there's this option called define new. And when I hover over define new, you'll see a pattern. And then you'll see an option called brush. I'm going to select brush. And now you'll notice that my brush actually became the birds that were inside of this layer. So what can I do with these birds now? Well, why don't we go back to our red eye image. Now this is just for an example. In the extra credit, I explain it very in depth that you're supposed to either find a nature scene or you can pick whatever scene you want, but just make sure it looks okay. But for our argument here, I'm going to find this image here. And with this image here and with my brush selected, I can actually paint birds and whatnot onto my image here. And the cool thing about this is that the brush pane on the right side actually works for my birds as well. So I can make my birds really big or really, really small if I'd like. It's up to me. Those are actually super small. I don't think you can see them. There they are. And then I could change the angle that they're at so I can move where they are. I could change how spaced out they are too. And it pretty much functions just like a regular brush tool. But the cool thing I want to show off is that the brush tool works with defining a new brush, and you can use any image that you find online to define a new brush pattern. So for your extra credit project for DM140, I go over it in depth here, but what you're supposed to do is you find a background that you like. I have a forest scene. You can find a city or an image, whatever you'd like to use. I do an example of what I just did. I tell you how to define a new brush and add it to your library of brushes. And what you're going to do is inside of that original scene, you're just going to add in 3 different types of images that you defined with the brush. So if you see here, I added in a rabbit with my brush tool. I added in a few leaves, and then I added in my birds here as well. And after you do that, you can just go ahead and submit it, and that will be your extra credit. So it's not too bad, and it's pretty cool to mess around with, and you can make some really interesting, it's almost kind of like artwork in a way. So I thought this extra credit will be a cool kind of break from the more like hardcore photo piece stuff, and it'll be a nice little artistic change on stuff. So this again is worth 10%, so it could boost your grade a lot as well. And I don't think it's too difficult, but again, any questions with it, just reach out to me and ask. Oh, great question. I almost forgot. So if you notice here, my color is actually this blue here with my brush tool. And so again, let me, that's a great point. I nearly forgot it. So if you notice inside of my extra credit, I have 3 different colors here. I have my purple, green, and black. What you can do is with your brush tool selected and you're painting with it, you can go to the bottom left down here where you have your color pane and select the color that's at the front, so this blue one, and then you can change it to whatever color you'd like and hit OK. And now you'll see I have green ones. I'm going to select this color again, hit blue. I have some blue ones, and I have some orange ones as well. And let me try some red. Cool. So as you can see here, you can do some kind of cool artwork. But again, to change the color while your brush is selected, you can select the color from down here in this pane, and then go ahead and shift it to whatever color you'd like. Awesome. So everyone, again, the extra credit is present inside of the extra credit page here on the main page right here. So select that, and then the DM140 PDF. And then I would say read through it all if you'd like. I hope I don't write too much there, but the instruction manual is there as well. And the rubric that I'll be using to grade it is there too. But again, it's worth 100 points, so it's definitely nothing to scoff at. If you have the time and the energy, I would say check it out. But again, it's extra credit, so don't feel that you need to prioritize it or anything. But definitely check this out if you would be interested in it. And any questions with it, please let me know. Awesome.